Missile de Croisière Naval, MdCN, is a ship cruise missile developed by France's MBDA for the French Navy. Development of this missile began in 2006, and it is hoped that it will provide French Navy ships with a better ability to engage targets on land from long distances. The Storm Shadow missile from MBDA, UK, was chosen, and in 1997, a contract for its development and production was awarded. The Scalp EG, a similar missile, is being purchased by the French Air Force from MBDA, France. Both weapons are based on the French Apache AP anti-runway missile. The Storm Shadow weapon system is also being purchased by the MoD Defense Procurement Agency on behalf of the Italian Air Force. Storm Shadow is a long-range, stalemate, air-sent-off rocket and is seemingly the most exceptional weapon of its sort on the planet. The missile, which is made in the UK and has a powerful conventional warhead, is designed to attack important infrastructure and hardened targets like buried and protected command centers. History. The Storm Shadow missile is a long-range air-to-ground travel missile created by the British protection organization MBDA, Rocket Frameworks. The British and French Air Forces used this missile, which was first introduced in 2003. Advancement of the Storm Shadow missile began in the late 1980s as a component of the Joint European Deadlock Rocket Framework (JES) program, including the UK, France, and Germany. Development of cruise missiles that can be operated by all NATO members is the goal of this program. This missile was originally known as Black Shaheen, but in the mid-1990s, it was renamed Storm Shadow. MBDA continued to develop this rocket and directed its most memorable test run in 2001. The Storm Shadow missile is designed for use against hardened and protected ground targets, such as military installations and bunkers. The missile has a precision guidance system that gives it a range of around 250 kilometers and allows it to identify targets and choose the best way to get there. During the strife in Iraq in 2003, Tempest Shadow rockets were used by the British and French Flying Corps to pursue important targets in Baghdad, including the government structure and the military's central command. This rocket has also been used in various battles, including Libya in 2011. Characteristics. The missile has a conventional warhead of 450 kilograms and weighs approximately 1,300 kilograms. It has a wingspan of 3 meters and a maximum body diameter of 48 centimeters. It is moved at Mach 0.8 by a microturbo TRI-60-30 turbojet motor and a scope of roughly 560 kilometers. The Storm Shadow's broach warhead has a variable delay fuse to control the main warhead's detonation and an initial penetrating charge to clear soil or enter a bunker. Planned targets are order, control, and correspondences focuses, airfields, ports and power stations, facilities for the management and storage of ammunition, docked surface and submerged vessels, spans, and other high-worth vital targets. The weapon is programmed by mission planners using specifics about the target and its air defenses. GPS and terrain mapping guide the missile on a low flight path semi-autonomously to the target area. The missile first climbs close to the target before diving into it. The objective of ascending to altitude is to maximize the likelihood of target identification and penetration. The nose cone is removed during the final maneuver to enable a thermographic camera with a high resolution to observe the target area. The rocket then, at that point, attempts to find its objective in light of its focusing on data, DSMAC. Missile de Croisière Naval. Since the days of sailboats and cannons, naval warfare has advanced significantly. Today, current naval forces utilize trend-setting innovation to extend power across the oceans. The Naval Cruise Missile, or MdCN, is one important part of this technology. The French Navy's MdCN is a good example of this powerful weapon. The MdCN, or Missile de Croisière Naval, is a land-based, long-range subsonic cruise missile. It was first put into use in 2015. And it is made by MBDA France. The rocket is outfitted with a high-touchy warhead and has a scope of more than 1,000 kilometers. It can be launched from surface ships, submarines, and land-based launchers, among other platforms. The MdCN is intended to be utilized against various targets, including high-esteemed targets. For example, order and control focuses, air guard frameworks, and basic foundation. It can infiltrate sustained structures and can perform equivocal moves during trip to stay away from foe air safeguards. The missile can accurately hit targets thanks to its use of inertial and GPS navigation systems for guidance. This makes it a significant resource for the French naval force in both customary and atomic prevention situations. The MdCN addresses a huge move up to the French naval force's strike capacities, permitting it to extend force a long ways past its shores, offering a non-nuclear means of dealing a devastating blow to an adversary. It is also an essential part of France's nuclear deterrence strategy. Combat debut. On March 11th, Typhoons conducted further attacks against 2 additional locations, using 6 pave way for laser/GPS-guided bombs. On March 12th, Typhoon struck another group of caves used by Daesh, using 8 pave way 4 bombs, and 2 days later attacked Daesh-held caves in the same remote, mountainous area of northern Iraq, dropping 6 pave way IVs. The Royal Air Force has been conducting airstrikes under Operation Shader since September 30, 2014, as part of a coalition effort to assist Iraqi security forces in their operations against Daesh. Eurofighter Typhoons augmented Panavia Tornadoes from December 2015, and then replaced the Tornado completely in February 2019 once the Brimstone and Storm Shadow had been integrated on Typhoon under the Centurion program. That milestone ensured that the type was able to employ the key air-to-ground weapons previously used by the Tornado. The operation back then was aimed at preventing Daesh from re-establishing a presence in the country. The caves near Erbil were judged to be very difficult targets, and the Storm Shadow missile was chosen as the most appropriate weapon for the task.